Hey y'all, it's Nate. Welcome back to my little corner of YouTube. Last week we talked about Love is Blind's biggest villains from the first 9 seasons. If you missed that video, check it out below. I'll be linking it. So today I felt like it was only right that we kind of balance the universe and we talk about some good. So we're going to be talking about fan favorite Love is Blind couples. Now keep in mind, this isn't every single couple that has ever existed on Love is Blind. These are specifically fan favorites. Y'all know what a fan favorite is. It's the people that, or the couples that get spoken about the most, and in particular the ones that I feel like I hear about the most in the zeitgeist. You are about to hear my thoughts on these fan favorites, but of course I want to hear yours, so feel free to drop your thoughts below if you do want to participate in the conversation, and give this video a like and a hype before you go. I think that there is absolutely no surprise that these first 2 people are on the list. Everyone's favorite, Lauren and Cameron from season 1. Like many of you seasoned veteran viewers, I have been watching Love is Blind since season 1. And I'm gonna be honest, after 6 years, I feel like I have started to lose the plot a little bit. I was rewatching season 1 and I was thinking to myself, why do we really love Lauren and Cameron? I thought maybe we had romanticized their relationship and it wasn't as great as we make it seem, but I can tell y'all, after recently rewatching season 1, their relationship is as amazing as we make it seem, and we are not romanticizing them. This shit is pure. Cam knew off top. I feel like from the first conversation they had, he knew that Lauren was the one. Lauren took a little bit longer to come around because, to be quite frank, she was worried about him being white. She never dated a white man before. She was worried about her father, may he rest in peace. I know he recently passed. She was worried about how her father would take to her dating a white man or being married to a white man.
I'm very vocal about the struggles of Black people. In the back of my mind, I am thinking a lot of my friends or peers will be like, wow, Lauren, you're gonna go marry a white man? But at the end of the day, I could still voice my opinions about how Black people are treated in this country and still love who I love. Being in an interracial relationship will be difficult, but I feel pretty confident that we'll be able to take on this mean world.
She was having these real concerns that are very valid when, in particular, this is the only thing I can tell you about, when you're a Black woman that's dating outside of your race. She was concerned about her fuller lips, you know, a Black feature, her fuller lips being a little too full for his small white people lips.
This is my first time kissing a white man. I have large, full lips, and I was scared that the proportion was gonna be like, oh my God, my lips are gonna be a lot for his smaller lips, but he is an excellent kisser. She
did overcome all that. And yeah, I can understand why they have that title of the ultimate Love is Blind couple. The connection was immediate. They were crying in the pods together day 3. And they said, I love you by day 4.
I love you.
I love you. Did we just say that?
Yeah.
Oh, I can't breathe.
And Cam came into the experiment with one thing on his mind.
If we get married, then, you know, that's it for me.
Yeah, me too.
We have to make it work.
They simply are the best. During the show, he was romantic as hell. He had my girl out in a cabin in the woods, and you know she had to love him because Black people don't just be going in no cabin in the woods. But he had her out in a cabin. It was super romantic. It was cozy vibes. He had pictures of them all over. I'm not going to say that there was a nod to this later on. There's something similar that happened with another couple that we'll talk about a little bit later on. But he had pictures of them all over. It was raining. The mood was just right. It was perfect. They really do have that fairy tale Love is Blind relationship. And this is no shade to anyone else, but I really do feel like that's something very unique that you could only get from season 1 of a show like this, because after that it starts to be, I'm here because I want to be famous. I'm here because I just want to be on TV, you know? So you really can only get that with season 1 of a brand new show like this. That real, raw, authentic. Again, not saying that other couples have not been real, because I'm going to talk about a few other couples in this video, but I think you know what I mean. You can't recreate that first time, basically, is what I'm saying. And he was hurt because she was unsure, because he was so sure about her.
You know, it's just tough to not know how she feels at this point. I guess I thought she was gonna know, but you know that I'm ready to marry you already. You know, I want to spend the rest of my life with you. I know that.
Cameron, I mean, I don't know what to say.
And I think we all know where they are today. They just had their first baby, a little boy. So shout out to them. I'm always rocking for them. Our next fan favorite couple comes from season 4. This season was a season of second chances. Brett gave Tiff a second chance after she fell asleep on him in the pods, and Bliss gave Zach a second chance after he lost his mind and chose Irina over her. I realized that this was the first season that we saw someone change their mind post-pods, meaning that Zach was the first person ever on Love is Blind to get engaged to someone else and then realize after the fact, oh, I should have picked the other person I dated. So you really have to give credit to him for making that something that happens on this show, because he was the first one to do it. He initially ended up with Irina in the pods, and none of us can still figure out how the hell that happened because it's Irina. And to both of their credit, they both ended up not liking each other by the end of that honeymoon.
On the plane ride home tomorrow, if we get the chance, like, I don't think we should sit together. This is supposed to be like our honeymoon phase. Like,
and it's been horrible.
If I could name my favorite,
yeah. It's been fucking horrible.
So bad to say, but it has.
And Zach immediately realized the error of his ways, and he called up Bliss and he was like, look,
I made the wrong choice. You know I did, and I do too.
And look how sharp my boy showed up to their post-pod meeting. He was courtroom ready, because he's a lawyer. And I think they hit it off right away. She accepted him in all his nerdiness.
I have these motion sensors that will activate sounds based on when you open a room. So like, I wanted the Harry Potter song to play when you open my bedroom door.
Oh, okay, that's approved.
I know a man who would do that. And I accept him in all his nerdiness too. I should tell him about that. Anyway, so I'm thinking, girl, I forgot I was recording. Everyone, including us watching at home, knew that Bliss was the appropriate choice for Zach. And so I know that I couldn't be happier that they ended up together. I say all the time, they are one of my favorite couples. Bliss's energy just feels better for Zach. She has a very caring nurture. She's thoughtful. It complements Zach really well. Irina is a mean girl. We talked about it in last week's video. Something it just it just never gave. I don't understand. I don't know. I'm not gonna harp on it because he got with the right one, but I don't know how he ended up with that woman. So I'm very happy that they were able to work it out, and she got the sweetest proposal on this little boat ride that they took. It was so cute.
Bliss, you're everything that I've been looking for my entire life.
And again, this really does show Bliss's character, because she could have let Zach have it, because she had told him before, hey, just a heads up, over here in the women's lounge, we're seeing a whole different side of Irina. And so I'm telling you that there are things that she does, and there are things about her personality that I'm seeing that you don't see. And she told Zach straight up, if you choose her, that's going to say something about your character. And Zach was offended by that, but I think he found out very quickly once he got outside of the pods and went on that honeymoon, oh, this is exactly what Bliss was talking about. And I'm sure he saw even more once he watched his season back, because her character was hot garbage. And yeah, it did say something about him that he chose her. So Bliss was right. But as far as I saw, and I don't think she ever said this, she never said told you so. And she could have. So Zach should be grateful, because she did not rub it in his face like, I had said, remember I had said? These two also recently welcomed their first baby. I think maybe a couple of years ago at this point, but that's only a toddler. So yeah, they recently had a baby as well. And shout out to them. Love them. I'm rooting for them as always. Now, we also did get another fan favorite couple out of this season, and that's Brett and Tiff. They did have a bit of a rough start because Tiff fell asleep on Brett in the pods.
You are special, Tiffany. I truly feel like we're like the perfect match. Hello? Hello?
And look, at the time, I think that's the first time we ever seen somebody fall asleep in the pods. At the time, for us watching, I'm sure for Tiff and of course for Brett, it kind of came off as her being bored or not being interested in the conversation or not liking Brett. But hindsight tells us, you know, these are not actors, right? These people are not used to being on set all day. We know from people on the show saying it all the time that they have very long shoot days. They're recording from AM to PM. They're going on date after date after date after date. I understand why my girl was tired. She's a napper. Ain't nothing wrong with a person who likes to take naps. I'm a napper as well. And so I'm glad that Brett was able to look past that and he forgave her, and it was beautiful to watch. And he even said, in the long run, grand scheme of things, this is going to be a funny story. You know, we could tell our kids, we could tell our grandkids this story. Yeah, yo, mama fell asleep on me on one of our dates. It's just going to be a funny thing. It's a blip in our long history.
I think at the end of the day, it's going to be a small moment and a funny story of our journey together.
I'm so happy because I feel like they're perfect for each other. Plus, that first kiss was something at one point she was really stressed out about the wedding planning. And this is where I say it's kind of a nod. I don't know if he intentionally did a nod. I'm sure not. He's not doing a nod to another couple. But because I watched it back to back, I'm connecting the dots. But he set up this romantic evening for Tiff, and he had these photographs of her that he had taken of her with her engagement ring. So I'm sure this happened like right after they got back to the house or whenever they got back home. He took some engagement photos of her in the ring, and they were in black and white. They were really moody, they were really beautiful, and he set up a space, put those pictures around, and he grounded her at a time when she was really stressed. So looking at it back to back, it kind of reminded me of that time when Cam took Lauren away and he had those pictures of them all around. It's just a really thoughtful thing. If you're not a romantic type of person, you're not even gonna think to do something like that. So yeah, I'm seeing kind of a trend in the couples who are the fan faves, and is that from both sides, they seem to be really romantic and really caring people. That's just, it's a trend. It was intimate, it was romantic. I loved it. And since then, we've seen them at another reunion or two, and they always look so great. And these two aren't a fan fave. I don't really know why. I think people didn't like Chelsea during her season, or they don't like Chelsea now because she supposedly does casting for Love is Blind, and the casting's been kind of hot garbage. I don't really know why, but these two are not a fan favorite couple. I wouldn't consider them a fan favorite couple, Kwame and Chelsea. However, a small little honorable mention, they had this beautiful moment in the pause when they were singing to each other. Well, Kwame was singing a song to Chelsea and he had her sing along.
I just want the real thing. I love it.
I love it.
I just want the real thing. All right, you keep going.
I just want the real thing.
I thought that was a beautiful moment, even if they're not a fan fave. Our next fan favorite couple comes from season 7, and that's Taylor and Garrett. These two go together like the elements and the periodic table. Garrett is a physicist. Taylor works in energy policy, so right away they bonded off of, you know, real nerd shit. She has a tattoo of an atom or something or some element on her wrist. He has a tattoo on his back that I think he said was some type of quantum equation. I don't know, a Heisenberg.
I have a little hydrogen tattoo on my wrist that was like...
That's cool. I've got a quantum equation on my back of my right arm.
No way.
Yeah.
What is it?
Uncertainty principle.
Oh, Heisenberg.
And so that's real nerd shit. You're not gonna meet someone too often who has, you know? I thought that was real cute. And these two were unproblematic the entire season. But not in a boring way. Like, they're really fun because they're so nerdy. They're just unproblematic. Taylor said,
I think that relationships are going like toward entropy.
And I don't know about y'all, but I did have to look that word up because I haven't been in a science class in a really long time. Basically, when she says that she feels like relationships naturally move towards entropy, she is saying that relationships naturally move towards chaos and destruction. And so you have to work hard to keep them together. She was spitting, and I'm using that. I'm stealing it. I like it. I do think that all types of relationships, romantic and otherwise, do naturally move towards entropy. If you don't nurture something, it's likely to fall apart. With your plants, your relationships, your hair, your mind, all of it. And I saw that she lived by that in the way that she handled her relationship. When all these other couples were going to hell in a handbasket, they were over here making the cutest little keepsakes for their wedding.
My dad gave me a bunch of love letters from my grandparents. My grandparents, like, they're no longer here.
Sure.
But they were able to be part of a really special day in a different, like, cosmic way. And I think for, like, our wedding, it's also a way that they can be part of it.
They were putting in the time to make sure that that relationship stayed on course, even though naturally it wants to go apart. They did have a couple of rough moments. Taylor wanted to move to San Diego because that's where her family was. Garrett was hesitant because it was so far from his family. I think I recently read somewhere that they just settled and bought a house in Washington, D.C. And I think I remember from the show or in that article I read that Taylor is often in D.C., right? Because she works in policy, so that's where the policies are made. She's often there, so that felt like a good starting point, and then maybe later on they'll work their way to San Diego. So they have laid roots. I love that for them, and I love them. They also had a moment where Garrett closed the loop with an ex. I don't remember if it was pod X or regular X, but he closed the loop and he sent a text message, and basically I don't even really remember what he said because it was such a non-issue in the grand scheme of their relationship that I don't even remember, but of course I'll show y'all. And they kind of had a moment where Taylor was like, well, I don't really like the way that you closed that. It didn't sound officially closed.
You live it.
You said, I just liked the message and I ignored it.
Yeah.
And when people are in front of us, you're saying, Well, no, I responded to it.
I don't even remember what I said.
But I knew they would get past it, so like I said, it was a non-issue for me. I am throwing this final couple in the mix for fan faves. I remember them being a fan fave during their season. I don't hear too much about them after the fact, so they really are an honorable mention because I remember them being, you know, likable. I just don't really hear much about them now. And that's Taylor and Daniel from season 8. He jokingly got down on one knee during their very first conversation, 10 seconds into their first conversation. So that was real cute and great foreshadowing for their relationship.
I've waited 31 years to find my man, Daniel, so let's not waste another minute.
He might be sitting right across from you right now.
I hope so.
I don't know.
Are you down on a knee?
Wait, hold on. I am now.
They initially bonded over their love for Christmas. They both have really solid Christmas traditions and we're excited about bringing those together, which I know I love. Christmas is also my favorite holiday and I believe in building Christmas traditions with your family. And I love when couples do it.
I've made a Christmas card every year for the past 6 years, and each year I've been single on Christmas. Every year it gets more and more over the top. The best thing that I could possibly do is like bring this into like a marriage and have like a Christmas card with my wife and then have like make a like a fun Christmas card with our kids.
Yeah, Christmas is my favorite holiday.
Is it?
I put up 4 trees in my 1-bedroom apartment.
They did have that moment where Taylor was fully convinced that Daniel had followed her on Instagram prior to the pod, so he knew what she looked like.
I have this like overwhelming feeling that when the doors opened last night, that was not the first time that he saw me. A couple months ago, I remember getting a follow request, and I'm fairly positive that Daniel followed me on Instagram not long before coming to the show.
But it turns out she was just being a little Delulu, and Delulu was not the Salulu in that case. The Salulu was to see if he actually did do that, and turns out he didn't. She saw a man that looked like him that had followed her. So they got past that, and from there, everything was amazing. They were very wholesome. Both sets of parents got along really well. I feel like you don't even see both sets of parents meet too often on Love is Blind. So the fact that they were able to get along really well was beautiful to see. Both of their parents had been married for a number of years, and so they had good foundation and good representation that they grew up with.
So is this year 50 for you? Is that?
It is.
Yeah. Congratulations.
How long have 30?
It'll be 34 in August.
Okay.
So, yeah, we're catching up.
So yeah, they were cute, their parents were cute, and I'm rooting for them as well. I'm probably gonna go look, let me see what they're doing actually. Okay, I'm so glad that I looked this up because I'm gonna put this in the video. Like I said, they bonded over Christmas during their season in the pods, and they released a Christmas card this past Christmas, and this is the cutest shit I've ever seen in my life. Yeah, this is so cute. I'm gonna put it on the screen for y'all, obviously. So yeah, they are still going strong. Love that for them. These are the couples who I would consider to be fan favorites. Like I said, it's not every couple ever to exist on Love is Blind, but these are the ones that I feel like are standout couples. If I did miss your favorite couple, definitely feel free to let me know in the comments, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Bye! Show that Harry Potter music clip. If you don't know, it did have that moment where Taylor was fully, not Taylor, Daniel, it is Taylor. Daniel! Taylor Love is Blind 8.